Dodgy roommates and creepy landlords. I can't tell you how many people have spoken to me about their experiences with shared living. So let's get into it. Welcome to Random Thoughts in Random Places, where we discuss everything to do with human behavior, the good, the bad, and the outright ugly. So I've had a lot of people ask me if I could talk about the experiences that can arise when you're in shared living. So here's mine, and it's what made me in the end just have to say, right, I've got to get my own place. And then in the end I did. It was actually pretty hard trying to find places, especially here down by the sea. So it wasn't easy. So shared living was an eye-opener. It was an experience that I don't ever want to experience again. And there's a high risk when it comes to shared living, who you're going to get, because everybody will put on their best performance. But when you're actually really truly living with someone, that's when the veil starts to fall away and you see people for who they are. So you really do need to be able to get along, compromise, being amicable, being respectful, being reasonable, and just being considerate of someone else's personal space when you're all in this big space. So it amazes me how selfish people are when they understand the situation as you are living with other human beings. So let's get into it. Now, my experience was that when I was in this shared living, I ended up having a very badly behaved roommate. And he took over the whole house and was very combative. He was an alcoholic and he was on tag. So the police were very well aware of him and he'd have to report every week. So I just, we speak, we talk, he seems pretty cool. And then the red flags start to appear. And so I just make sure that I kind of distance myself a bit and I don't get too involved. He was extremely loud, extremely obnoxious, didn't have any respect for anyone or anything else, and was very self-centered and extremely petulant, and felt very sorry for himself. But he was causing a lot of havoc, and I couldn't sleep at night, and I had to get up early in the morning because I was a specialist in dementia care. So I worked long hours and I slept very little. Another thing came about was I started to notice that my landlord was getting a bit too familiar with my underwear. And I politely asked him, it's okay, you don't have to fold it neatly and then put it on my bed meticulously like that. You can just put it in the wash basket and I'll take care of it myself. I thank you for trying to help, but you really don't need to go that far. And that kind of creeped me out. But I couldn't go anywhere else. I was saving up money so I could do, an apartment of my own. But it took a while. And so patience was very much an element that I had to keep hold of. So in the end, it got too much where I ended up speaking to my landlord, and I said to him, listen, the roommate he's off his head. I can't do any more. And I've spoken to him about it as well. And I've said to him that, listen, I'm making tracks to move anyhow. Because I didn't want to be seen as the troublemaker, because that's just the thing, isn't it? You don't want to be seen as the one that's causing the trouble, but yet you're the one that's not causing any trouble. You're just trying to make sure that everything is respectful and amicable, but you've got people fighting you on that. So this was a place where you simply couldn't be anymore. So I make tracks to leave. They then call the police on me, and he's up in his room crying, saying that I'm trying to hurt him and tell lies about him and get him put in prison. This guy's already on tag. He's already messed up his life. There's nothing anyone else could do to add to that. But he was one of these people that wants to blame others. So he could never take responsibility for his own actions. And so he got the police on me. And the police, them being very systematic, were quite happy to believe him. And they go, so what's your problem then? And I said, wow, I don't actually have a problem, sir. I said, I'm simply just trying to leave this property because he is atrocious. And I'm aware that you know of him. He has to come in and report himself to you once every week, I understand. They weren't interested. All this cop wanted to do was pick on me. So I've got the cop, the landlord, and the housemate all ganging up on me. So I was right to do what I did in the first place. I just knew I had to get out of there. Why was the landlord not on my side and not being reasonable? Because he didn't like it, because he was sexually harassing me and I didn't like it. And so I put him in his place. And so what did he do? He got together with the roommate along with the police officer, and I was asked to leave. But I was leaving anyway. But could you see where that could have gone? Do you see how willing and ready they were to gang up on me, then try to discredit me when I was the best tenant he ever had? But because he couldn't touch my clothes and couldn't get closer to me, therefore he removed me. Of course, I found out later that that roommate totally wrecked his house. That's what you get, mate. That is what you get, because he was sneaky, creepy. His hands would wander a lot. So, you know, this is really, really a horrible experience. And I was in a hard place at the time. So I don't know about you guys, but did you have any, guys and girls, have you had any creepy altercations like that, where all you've tried to do is mind your own business, settle down and get on with what you've had to do? You know, shared living is not easy, right? And all you want to do is just be left alone. You're going to be friendly and amicable, but you just want to get on with things. Please leave your experiences in the comments section and discuss with yourselves the experiences that you've had, whether they be good or bad, whether you got justice or not, whether it was an altercation that changed you forever, that you no longer even will entertain having any roommates in your own home. You won't ever entertain shared living. How did that affect you? Because I sure know that it affected me in a way where, again, my trust in people just went down, because, you know, shared living is very personal. You know, it can get quite intimate. So you're in close contact. So respecting and having boundaries is essential. But these two didn't have any. And I found when I tried to stand up for myself, I was the one that was bullied out. Is that what happened to you? Do leave your comment. And also, this isn't just for the ladies. This is for the guys as well. Have you had any weird interactions with a female landlord that, because she can't get into your pants, is deciding now she's going to lie about you, say that you're aggressive, say that you're sneaking around in parts of the house that you're not supposed to? Do leave a comment, because this is really, really serious. Because when people can misbehave and be a menace and then end up disregarding you, discrediting you, and then they come out the winner, something's really weird there. So check your surroundings. Check how the landlord, he or she, is, right? Look at their behavior. Look at the people that they have in their house in comparison to how you are. Okay? I couldn't imagine disrespecting someone's property at all, you know, whether it's my own property that I bought, whether I've rented, or whether I'm house sharing. I just wouldn't treat someone's property in the way that I have seen people that I have shared with treat people's property, and the way they have absolutely no respect for themselves either. So this is a really, really serious issue, because a lot of people are having to, you know, share more than they would like. So it's very, very, very serious. So please do drop your comments, your experiences on how that has been for you. Because I can tell you now, mine wasn't nice, but I handled it pretty well. I didn't let the cops and those lot get me, you know, upset or angry or do anything that could, you know, make it look bad on me. I just kept my cool, and I just knew I had to get out of there. And I won't say I had someone else to turn to, because I didn't. It was lucky that a mate, I didn't have another property to go to, but a mate put me up for, you know, a few months, just so I could find somewhere better for myself. And I did. So my loves, if you've had a really disturbing altercational experience, do share it, because it's so important. If you find my content interesting, valuable, insightful, do like and follow, and like I said, keep the conversations going on. This is a platform where you can discuss and there'll be no reprisals, so do share, because it really does help each other. We are a community and we should be looking out for one another. And as I say that, I mustn't forget, On the end of my little video, I always like to do, you can't have the negatives without the positives, my darlings. It's, oh, there it is, most important. So what does the universe have to say to us today? What do we need to hear? Make the rest of your life the best of your life. Yeah. And I think that's what most of us are all trying to do, aren't we? It's just awful when we have altercations with people who want to disrupt that, you know? And funny enough, I say that my next video will be about petty neighbours. Neighbours that just love to cause trouble because they've got nothing better to do with their time. They're not helpful, but they will come and escalate a situation for the worst, not for the better. So join me tomorrow when we get into that. Petty neighbours. And my darlings, on that note, we're coming up for the weekend. Like I said, do be careful when it comes to shared living. Do leave your comments and experiences because they are valued and they could, you know, help somebody else who might be in that, or knowing that they've got no choice but to go into shared living, and so it could help give them a few pointers. And on that note, my darlings, have a wonderful day, and as always, Jah love.